Well, we had a presidential debate. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some of the key issues we believe were not addressed in that. I'm Eric Sapanik. This is John Caro, and this is the Gold Spot.
This week, we want to start out by remembering what happened on 9/11. It affected all of us, those who were young, those who were old. It's something we should never forget, and it's something that we should take a time out every year to remember and reflect on. Having said that, this week we had a presidential debate.
We did.
Eric has some thoughts on that.
For me, I was really blown away with the fact that we did not touch on issues that we here at the Gold Spot think are some of the major issues. First of all, the dollar. We're not talking about the dollar. We're not no mention about printing it at an astronomical rate, which is creating this inflation, is a huge part of that problem. No mention of that. They didn't talk about that. The moderators didn't ask those questions. On top of that, when we talked about, say, a plan, it's about curbing spending. Well, Trump right now, if you've been watching X or if you've been watching YouTube, Elon Musk was one of the ones that came forth and said, listen, we need a regulatory spending committee that will start to put the clamps down on all this useless spending. It's amazing that wasn't formulated in 1776 to begin with, but it hasn't been. Here we are in 2024, and it's a great idea. It is an idea that needs to come to fruition, and that's something that I also would have thought maybe would have been brought up. It wasn't. The other big one, Robert F. Kennedy coming out and saying, we need to start looking into the FDA. We need all these big, groups that control the food, the drugs. It's all interconnected. We are a very unhealthy nation, and we need to fix this, because if we do fix this, this is going to start changing all the money that we're spending into these sectors that will help our healthcare become better and make the cost of living for everyone more affordable by just being a healthier nation. I thought that was a really good thing to talk about.
The moderators never asked how something was going to be paid for.
No.
The $50,000 credit for new business startups. Great. How are you going to pay for it? How are you going to monitor potential fraud?
Yep.
Where's the money coming from? There was no bite from the moderators on anything substantive. It was all theater, and it was very frustrating to watch, because we want to know how these people are going to control the $35 trillion debt we have right now that keeps growing. Not a word.
No, not one word. And like you said, there's just more, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to spend this, we're going to spend that. But how? What are we going to do? Well, we know the answer. We're going to either A, raise taxes, or B, print more money. Or we'll do both. But neither of that is it's all counterproductive for the economy, really, at the end of the day. And what is the plan when it comes to this Green New Deal? That was never brought up. We're spending all of this money to try to make our vehicles more fuel efficient or just electric, but no one wants to talk about the fact that GM, Ford, all of these companies, they are hemorrhaging money on their electric EV vehicles, and they're starting to abandon those types of projects. No mention of that.
And there's no mention of where is the electricity going to come from. You got to produce the electricity to run the vehicles. Coal, oil, solar isn't going to do it.
Well, it's not even just a generation or generating the energy. It's delivering the energy. The line's been out there. I actually have a friend that is in that business, and I'll tell you right now, from what I've gathered, we don't have the manpower to start driving the types of lines that we need to deliver that. I mean, just look at California. It's rolling blackouts to this day.
Cancel a concert last weekend because they couldn't light the Hollywood Bowl.
I just feel as though this particular debate was, it just scooted around every real issue. The moderators did not get into any of them, and it definitely looked like a 3-against-1, because like what we were talking, they were throwing the hammer down on the Trump side, but never once did they challenge Harris on anything.
The moderators are not supposed to debate with the candidate.
No,
They
they're
were
not.
debating with Trump, they were fact-checking Trump, and they were letting Harris get away with whatever she wanted to say.
It was definitely one-sided. I mean, that was, and you know, on the CNN, when we watched the CNN debating it with Biden, the moderators were not acting in that manner as bad as we saw last night.
Well, they don't understand what a debate is, and they act like partisans, not moderators.
So how does this all wrap back up into gold? I would think that we very much want to still keep our eye on the ball when it comes to the economy. And I still don't see anything right now. CPI numbers came out.
Higher. And they're not real numbers. They don't include food and fuel. What you also see are the central banks of the world continuing to buy gold at tremendous rates.
So I'm going to close with this. This is also John Caro's birthday. Happy birthday. We have a picture of him with one of our U.S. presidents, and we're going to end on that. We'll see you next time right here on The Gold Spot. If you enjoyed today's Gold Spot, like or subscribe to both our YouTube or our Rumble channels. Also, comment below if you have any questions or if you want to hear us talk about something specific in a future video.